When you have something like charter schools, when you have a topic of something that's never been done in a state like Kentucky, even though 43 other states have charter schools, and we are one of those 7 that does not, when there's something new, there are many different ideas of how to best approach the solution. And there are good ideas and some not so good, but ultimately they have to be reconciled. To move forward in any way, shape, or form, it takes people of different ideas to come together, sit down in good faith, and to move forward, and to not let the lack of perfect be the enemy of good, really good. And this bill, House Bill 520, is a really good bill. And as governor, I would sign this bill into law as it exists, and it will be up to the legislature to move this through. Contact your legislators, because this is good for Kentucky. It's good for Kentucky students. House Bill 520 needs to pass. I look forward to signing it into law.
As I've said in press statements and other comments, I'm a 20-year proud public educator in traditional public schools. And traditional public schools will always be the major source of delivery of education in Kentucky. But in saying that, it is not the perfect case for every child. And it's past time that we in Kentucky join with 43 other states and allow there to be other models that will meet the needs of every individual student. Make no mistake about it, charter schools are public schools. Public charter schools can benefit the most needy of our kids. And that's what we must be about. House Bill 520, most of you have read. Obviously, the process would be, the authorizer would be the local school board with a strong appeals process to the Kentucky State School Board. There are no geographic caps in this bill. There are no caps in terms of numbers in this bill. We feel like it has a very strong accountability measure. All students that would attend a public charter school under House Bill 520 would be required to take the exact same testing that any other traditional public school would take in terms of state accountability. We have the same transparencies models in place to make sure that the boards of directors are following those. We basically are trying to preference students of free and reduced lunch or special needs students for priority. Again, it is past time that we open up Kentucky to be a school of school choice, or a state of school choice, and join the other 43 states that have done this.
Public charter schools are schools of choice. Students and parents would choose a public charter school. If no one chooses the school, it no longer exists. You know, at the same time that we were discussing CARA in Kentucky, over a quarter of a century ago, the first state of those 43 states that have public charter schools today was discussing their legislation for this new idea called public charter schools. So what has happened in about a quarter of a century across this country? Well, if you look around the country, today there are 6,700 public charter schools. About 3 million students, a small fraction relative to the number of students in public school across the country, but still, 3 million students, parents that have chosen that specialized, that individualized form of education to meet the needs of their child. But there's another piece to that. Are they working? Are they not working? Well, ask the parents. There are 3 million students in public charter schools, and there are 1 million students on waiting lists to get into the public charter schools across the country. They have been a resounding success. And when you look at students that have extraordinary needs, we have a large and a persistently large and growing achievement gap in Kentucky. The commissioner has talked about it, our Pritchard committee has talked about it, their top goals in the state, because it's large and it's growing larger. So if you look, for instance, at public charter schools that are in urban centers, you will see, if you look across the entire country, in urban centers, there is 20% more learning per academic year in public charter schools than their traditional peers. They are making a difference for students with individualized needs. They are making a difference for students that have learning differences. There is simply no reason at all to not have that option for our children in Kentucky. We have to have it now. This is a good bill. It will yield public charter schools for those situations in Kentucky. And we're certainly hoping that it'll be on the governor's desk in the not too distant future. It's time for Kentucky to join the other 43 states.